Hello, this is Ashton Ekbatani. Doing calculations and mortgage qualifications for multifamily residence or multiplexes, as many of us call it, is different than single residence. So there are many things that the banks are looking at, and I come across this amazing clip done by one of the savvy mortgage broker called Kim Boehlke, and she amazingly explain the process very easy, and it's easy to understand. So I want you to take a look at this video, take a note, and if you have any question, you can give me a call or call her directly. Enjoy it.
Hello, what I wanted to discuss today was how lenders underwrite rentals. It varies and it's complicated. It's tough to get pre-approvals. This is an example of underwriting a fourplex. So not an owner-occupied fourplex, just a pure straight investment property. We're going to start with 20% down. Our assumptions are the clients own a home that they live in. They have a rental already that they own, and they want to purchase a fourplex. The other assumptions that we're going to use is a certain amount for property taxes and for heat, which is not going to change in any of the scenarios. Also, they have a secured line of credit and they have a balance on it, and their down payment is going to come from that line of credit. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. Okay, so in the first example, so obviously everything is off of these ratios, gross debt service and total debt service. So gross debt service is the property itself. So the expenses for the property, which is the qualifying payment based on either the Bank of Canada rate or the rate +2, whichever is higher. And we've been using Bank of Canada rate a lot, but now as rates are climbing, it's going to start to become rate +2. So watch out for that. So that's the qualifying payment, heat, and property tax of the place divided by their income. That's the gross debt service. So it's just the property itself. So in all these scenarios, it's quite low. What this client has a problem with is a total debt service. And the reason they have a problem with that is because they own a property. So the property they live in, the mortgage, the taxes, and the heat go into the ratios. Their rental property, the mortgage, the taxes, and the heat also go into the ratios. And then of course the place that they're buying. Okay, so in this scenario, this is a conservative A lender. The way that they underwrite it is half of the income is added to the client's employment income, and the property tax and the heat all remains in the ratios. So in this case, with all of those assumptions, they qualify for a $600,000 purchase with 20% down. Scenario number 2 is also with an A lender. It's also 20% down, but in this case, they take the property tax and heat out of the ratios. So in this case, the mortgage is left in, and the property tax and the heat for their owner-occupied place. But the property tax and the heat for the rentals is taken out. So it's just the mortgage for the rental that's left, and then half of the rental income for both the property that they own and the one that they want to buy is added to the income. In this case, because they're taking property tax and heat of the rental units out of the ratios, still an A lender, still 20% down, but they will qualify for a $750,000 purchase with $150,000 down. Scenario number 3, this is where we get into alternative lending. In this case, they'll go up to a higher TDS of 50%. They will require 25% down, and with rentals in general, if your client can put 25% down, you will have a lot more access to a lot more lenders, so keep that in mind. And in this case, they will use 90% of the rental income on the subject property, the rental property that they're buying. And they will use a worksheet for the non-subject rental, so the rental that they're not buying but that they own. What they'll do is they'll take all of the income from that property, the rental income, and then just deduct out the expenses. And so then you either have a surplus or a deficit that you add to the ratios. And in this case, if we take that into consideration, and I used a higher qualifying rate because when you get into alternative lending, you get higher rates. So then the qualifying rate goes up. With 25% down, they would qualify for a $900,000 purchase. So in general, why I prepared this is I do get these questions quite a bit. So in summary, what I want to say is that if you have clients, everybody wants to buy a rental now. If you're getting into things like fourplexes, what I would say is you want clients that are somewhat sophisticated, that have good employment incomes, that have high liquid assets, and ideally have experience with rentals. I would have them pre-approved conservatively so that they have an idea, maybe in the 600 range. And that way, if anything goes sideways, you can know that you have other lenders that you can go to where they can qualify for more. However, you do have to pay attention to the rates. So posted rates are not like, the best rates that people are getting on a single purchase are not necessarily the rates you get with a fourplex. And then also some lenders have maximum mortgage amounts with rentals, and sometimes they have limitations on areas where they will lend. So hope that's helpful and educational, and definitely you want to have a good relationship with your mortgage advisor so you can have a good idea of where your client's at when they're going to make these kind of purchases.